Hey, it's KingsDecree. Checking on a new deck today. This is another deck that I picked up off of Gwent DB from the dude Swim. He's a pretty prolific deck builder, and also I think he went to the Gwent Challenger tournament. So for the most part, I trust his judgment. So this utilizes the post-patch Radovid, right? That locks 3 adjacent units and removes 2 base damage from them. I don't think this is a very powerful leader ability right now, but I think it's worth a shot. And wouldn't you know it, my first matchup is against Skoatal. Great. So I don't have a lot of stats yet on this deck. It's a pseudo first impressions, but not really. I'm gonna go ahead and Shawnee that back in. So basically, it's basically Siege Northern Realms with a little bit of a twist. At least I think I wasn't really sure. I'm pretty sure Siege, traditional Siege Northern Realms used full test to buff up one guy real big and then copy it over. But this instead goes for a little bit more reactive route instead of proactive, which is kind of what I've been hankering for. You know, it's been a long time since I last played the pre-patch Radovid control deck that I really liked with Bloody Baron. But then, you know, went into the combo discard brand into wound brand, or not wound brand, but wound the other guy or whatever. Skelliger. Okay, that's good. And then I went to the other combo deck with Golden Full Test. So I've kind of been doing a lot of combo decks lately, and I've not been having a very good time. I actually, since I discovered for myself Gwent, you know, a couple months ago, I'd been playing, you know, a couple hours daily. I was just infatuated with it, right? But in the past like week or two, I can barely force myself to play a couple hours every couple days. So when I was scouring Gwent DB, and I was like, you know what? I need to find a new deck. I need to find a deck that's more aligned with my general style play that I like. I should probably hit the Elven Mercenaries, but yeah, this deck is a little bit, it's not as difficult as a combo deck, but it's still, there's a little bit of a nuance that isn't. Oh, whoops. Did I not, did my other units get banished or something? Wait, what? That was just Manicore Venom, right? Wait, they went to the graveyard, but they, what? Or am I just misremembering? Oh, you know what? Oh yeah, I am misremembering. I thought I lost a siege unit, but actually I just lost Roach. Whoops. Oh, well, I think I can still win this round, but I'll probably end up losing round 3, as it usually goes. So basically, and I'll get into the more nitty-gritty of what the deck changes I made, but a big thing is this Dandelion and Siege Expert to kind of buff your back line up pretty high, while at the same time dealing constant damage with the trebuchets and removing fairly large or fairly notable threats with Ballista. Against consumed monsters, while I don't think I have a very good win rate against consumed monsters against what I played, there was actually a couple games off, not using the deck tracker thing, but I still feel like it didn't do that great against that deck either. I'm not sure about this Radovid leader ability. I may switch to, I don't know. I feel like I've used the leader ability right every game, right? And I've done 7 games so far on this tracker, and I don't think I've used it. I don't think I've used that leader ability a single time to actually shut down a combo. I was kind of, you know what? I thought it was gonna be Manicore Venom, and that's still pretty good. But yeah, man, I just like, and you know what really sucks? Like Ockle Shackles and the dwarf guy, right? Both of them will also unlock a unit. Radovid's ability does not. Radovid does not unlock an ability of a locked unit like my Dandelion. That's why I didn't use it there. I think that's the clinching point, and not being able to do that, I think, kills Radovid for me. And I think I'm just going to switch to probably full test. I don't see, if I'm not going for gold synergy, I feel like it's not worth it to go for Henselt. Yeah, it would have to be full test, but then I'd just be going Siege Northern Realms anyway. And then I'd totally, you know what, maybe it's just not the meta right now. Maybe the meta is just not looking favorably towards the Radovid ability. At least in the while that I've played so far. Because, you know, I'm looking to shut down the likes of, whoops, I'm taking way too long on this turn. Like, this ability seems like it'd be great against Skelliger. Or whatever it is, Skelliger. I still feel like 50-50 people will pronounce it one way or the other. But yeah, I feel like it's great against Skelliger, but against, like, most everything else, it's just not that great. Especially against Skoatau right now. Like, I feel like I've been playing, like, even though the deck tracker doesn't necessarily reflect this, I feel like I've been playing Skoatau more than anything. Can I actually pop up the stats? No. I'll check it out later. Oh, and Nilfgaard. Nilfgaard's been surprisingly steady. Like, I even pre-patch, that pre-big positional changing patch, I played against a fair amount of Spy Nilfgaard or Control Nilf. I guess you could call it kind of Control Nilfgaard. Ouch. And she's immediately gonna play that gold card that that returns it to my hand, which sucks so much because she gets to draw the card without any negative downside, and there's no way I can buff up a unit myself, right? And you can't play it because giving them 17 strength is totally not worth one card, unless they have a huge line like on the melee line or something, but that's not going to happen at this stage of the game. She's just waiting for it. She's just waiting for it.
Elves must die. Damn it.
Oh, going for the Smite instead. Or not Smite, but Igni. Interesting. I guess the combo I mentioned previously is not actually that popular of a combo. But that's happened to me twice already today. Or not today, but in general. Oh, actually, I had to hit one of my own units here. Yeah, I will. That's the very, like, that downside very rarely happens. I think I've only had to hit my unit, like, to a negative effect maybe once or twice my whole time of playing the Silver Drake. Okay, so yeah, I pretty much won this, right?
Checkmate.
Yeah, and see, I'm using the Radovid ability and it's doing nothing. So I think I'm gonna get rid of that. Radovid definitely has a place. It's just not right now. And surprisingly, I actually won the game against Skoatau. I think it's Ambush Skoatau that just kicks my ass. But against the, you know, relatively run-of-the-mill Skoatau, maybe not so much. Okay, let's head over to the deck list. Yeah, deck builder. So Swim, basically, he had a couple of Reaver Hunters. I took the Reaver Hunters like almost immediately out because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give the Reaver Hunters a chance, right? So I put the 2 Reaver Hunters in. And the very first game I played, I drew into 2 Reaver Hunters on my very last round, and that lost me the game. I hate Reaver Hunters. I will never, ever play Reaver Hunters unless they get a significant buff. I can understand playing Reaver Hunters in a strong combo deck where you're absolutely trying to pull into those crucial cards. But with a deck that's like Control Radovid, where every card has a relatively equal or less value, I cannot see the value of a Reaver Hunter. And, you know, I'm not saying like he's wrong and I'm right, but personally speaking, I am not going to play Reaver Hunters in this deck. But just as a note, he did have that. He also had 3 medics. I don't like having a kind of the similar situation with Reaver Hunter. Medic can be very hit or miss, and I don't like it when my cards miss because I want a very consistent deck. And I think hitting into 3 medics or having the opportunity of hitting into 3 medics is pretty painful when you can't revive. And I already have a Shawnee and an NK. Maybe I would take out like an NK or Shawnee and put a medic in instead, but for now, I kind of like how it's I like NK Shawnee, and I took out the medic and instead put in another First Light just in case. And you know, First Light is never really a bad thing, and it helps against monsters, but you don't really play against monsters. And sometimes it helps against Skelliger, but Mana Core Venom, I think it's just a really strong. You almost always hit like that 12 strength swing. So I like putting in there, and also helps against combo cards, which is basically what Radovid's supposed to be doing. It's just Radovid is not strong enough. You know, I think if they change it to 3 units, 3 damage, and also could unlock or one or the other, then Radovid might actually be better than where he stands right now. I feel like this Radovid deck was meant to be a counter towards the wounding Herald, but when the whole meta is Scoia'tael and some like consume monsters, I just don't feel like it's that powerful. So I'll probably be switching. I'll probably just, you know, make a siege. I'll keep this deck as it is, but I'll probably just make a siege Northern Realms. Going further, I took out the 2 Reaver Hunters, like I said. I put in the 2 Siege Experts instead. You know, I get all the bonuses on these, similarly with Dandelion. I don't believe there's actually a lot of good silver cards. I don't need Smite. I don't like Commander's Horn because it sets you up for disaster. I saw Reinforcement today on Northern Realms, and I kind of liked it. So maybe I would do that. Decoy, Demeterian Bomb, you know, for the same reason why I had Radovid and Mana Core Venom, that's what D-Bomb would have been doing anyway. I just had to be quick to shut it down early. So D-Bomb at the moment, I don't feel like it's necessary. Decoy is always a strong choice. But, I mean, you have 1, 2 to hit, maybe 3 on the bronze, and then you know, all the silver cards, of course, always are pretty useful. Trollo is a strong choice, I think. Well, maybe it's not. Yeah, this is probably more of a medic bygone, but I always think it's pretty relatively strong. The Dwarf. It pains me to see that this card can lock or unlock, but then Radovid can't. You know what? Take away the damage, but allow the locking and unlocking. Because then you actually have a card that's flexible as it was kind of designed to in this situation. I also just kind of wanted to go back to an 8 damage Smite Gold cards, but that's neither here nor there. He also had Prince Stennis in there. I really disliked Stennis. Maybe that's a card that really excels in the like extremely high level meta that he's playing at. But where I'm sitting at right now, which is kind of hovering around rank 12, sort of because haven't really hit my groove. Also because, you know, haven't been playing a lot. But anyway, excuses. But I feel like Prince Stennis is often a dead card in my hand, or I had to work too hard to get value out of it. Like I already have Siri to curb my turn 2 card advantage. And if I have Stennis and Siri in the same round 1 hand, then how likely is it that I'm going to win round 1 at all, right? Unless you want to just give away round 1, which if you're playing against certain classes like Skelliger, you can't do that. You can't just give up round 1. So I think Prince Stennis, I'm assuming it's a very high level card that does actually work very well when you're playing it expertly, basically. But where I'm at, I can't get that value consistently, and I feel like it's often just like, man, how am I going to play this card without actually losing the game, right? That's kind of the theme of this deck that I've kind of jury-rigged a little bit. I want to be very consistent. I don't want to put an immense amount of thought in micro decision-making. I kind of want to just play the game, you know, like while I'm watching a TV show or something, right? I just want to be able, it's not, I guess you could say it's like a dumbed down deck. Because most of your cards are just kind of play and go. But that's kind of what I want right now, you know? I want a kind of a more chill deck, right? Like playing, to equate it to Hearthstone as it is right now, like playing Quest Rogue and, you know, Freeze Mage 1.0 or, you know, Patron. Those were all fun decks to play. Don't get me wrong. They are, and they're strong too. But right now, you know, it's kind of, I want to play Fatigue Warrior. I want to play Taunt Warrior. I want to play Control Dragon Priest, right? I just want to chill out a little bit and play a little bit slower and let cards kind of do their thing and, just kind of build up knowledge without having to be hyper focused into every game. But anyway, that's my list of excuses there. So this isn't really Swim's deck anymore, but I'm still gonna call it Swim to give that dude some props for introducing me to this. And it's basically Northern Realms Siege, or Full Test Siege, but I'll stick with Radovid for a little bit longer. And yeah, that's it for Swim's control board. Swim's jury rigged Radovid. And in the next couple days, I actually have a relatively interesting, or I would think it's a relatively interesting ramble time coming up. So make sure to check back for that. It's going to be about how I have nothing to talk about and how that's actually interesting. I will figure it out somehow. Okay. Thanks for watching.